No tak jo, tak jdeme na to. Takže přátelé, dnešní ruletu herní vyhrál Elimat Bongáře. Tak jsem se zvědavý, co z toho vyleze. Slejte Princess. Matně si tu hru vybavu, že jsem ji chtěl hrát loni. A nehrál jsem jí. Tak se pojďme podívat na to, co pak to je. Warning. Toto je hororová hra a není pro všechny. Parallax efekty, flickering images. Skvělý. To je prostě je to horor, jo? Čete je to horor. Děti běžte pryč, jo? Jakékoliv horory uvidíš, projdi je a vidě všechny. Nejsou žádné endingy, nejsou žádné špatné rozhodnutí. Jsou akorát perspektivy a nové začátky. Je to příběh o lásce. Není náhodou tohoto hláška z nějakého hororu právě? Tak. Můžu to hodit do full screenu? Vypadá to, že můžu. Tak. Jsem to slyšet, nebo nejsem? Můžu to stišit, když tak ještě. OK. Tak. Dej si webku na druhou stranu. A můžu si dát dolů, Fiolo? Proto se ptám teďko. OK. Tak si dám dolů. Tak. Kapitola první, Hrdina a princezna.
You're on a path in the woods.
Aha.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Dobře. Nebudu to čete překládat, to zvládneme, ne? Dobrý.
You're here to slay her.
Jo.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Jo, takže jdu zabít ženu a to je celý. Tak to zní docela jednoduše. A... Konec světa, o čem to mluvíš? Zvažoval jsi, že jediný důvod, proč skončí svět, je to, že je zavřená? Zabíjení princeze zní špatně. Nemůže to udělat někdo jiný? Nebudu to dělat. A... Dobře, OK. A... Proč je tady miliarda odpovědí? A pokračuj tiše do kabiny. Dobře. Tak schválně.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further.
Aha.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
OK, takže žena se rovná špatně, prostě, jo, v pořádku.
We're not going to go through with this, right?
Aha.
She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Tak jako záleží.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
To byl jako jiný narátor tohle, jo.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Jasně.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Co to je, čete bez vás implement za slovo? Implement. Vzít nůž. Vlézt do sklepení. Vezmu si nůž. OK.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Pochopitelně, pochopitelně. Dobře.
The door to the basement creaks open,
Implementy nástroj,
revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Slyšíme ji.
Who's there?
Kdo je tady?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Mám extrémně hodně vtipů, který jsou toxický. Přemýšlím, který z nich můžu použít, člověče. Nebudu říkat nic. Ahoj!
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Ježiš, kámo, proč?
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful.
Dobře.
Is she really a threat to the world?
Okay.
Focus on the task at hand.
Jako vypadá rozumně.
And
Okay.
there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Ano, jdu tě zabít. Ne, ještě nevím. Zvířat se akorát promluvit. Uzavři své nervy, ať dopředu. OK.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
Že to byla čarodějka.
So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed.
Aha.
If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Jo, takže teďko je otázka, kdo z nich blafuje. Protože to může být jako i narátor může blafovat, ona může blafovat. Ty vole, tohle je těžký, no. Opravdu mi ta hra jakoby pustí k tomuhle.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh,
Okay.
this is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder.
Nejkratší gameplay v dějinách, jo.
Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
Počkat.
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
What the fuck?
Yes. Even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well.
Aha.
But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago. That arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Jasně, že to je u konce. Je mrtvá. Nejsem si jistý. Jasně, že ne, to bylo moc jednoduchý. Jasně, že to je u konce, je mrtvá.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you.
Dobře.
Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
Jakože zmizel svět okolo té kabiny?
What happened? Everyone is fine.
What the fuck?
It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here.
Nás to portlo
This
jinam.
is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
To je bullshit, puste mě. Dobře, OK.
so glad you're keeping an open mind. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
No snad ne. Neslyšel jsi narátora? Jsme šťastní. Všichni jsme šťastní. Ne, já to tady mám rád. Pojďme schválně udělat nejhorší možný rozhodnutí. Mám to tady rád.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning.
Jasně.
Please shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and past ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift. You simply exist. Happy. Forever.
OK. Takže můžu to refundnout teďko, jo? V pořádku. To byla krátká a příjemná hra. Děkujeme. Děkujeme. Děkuju za potlesk, chat. OK, ty vole. Tak to tam bylo velmi zvláštní. Titulky doslova delší než samotná hra. Musíte udělat screenshot. Dobře. Počkat. Join Discord, join subreddit. Dobrý, tak to asi zvládám bez toho. Proč to má, kámo, 8 giga, ty vole? Jakože... Ta hra má 97 endingů. Ta hra má 97 endingů. Kristovy rány.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
To samozřejmě good ending není.
You're here to
to jsem tak nějak
her.
pochopil, takže to je prostě jak u Stanleyho.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Takže de facto to, co jsme teďko prošli, tak je něco jako ten good ending ve Stanley Parable, že ty skončíš a byl si happy, že jo? Takovej ten 10minutový průchod, ano. Tak. Dobře, tak schválně, jo. Pak se s ní pokecat. Vždycky jsem chtěl být monarchem, Viva revolucion.
That's the spirit.
Ano.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Je tam happy ending s princeznou, to zjistíme.
Before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat,
ano.
And she will do everything in her power to stop
takže
you
žena
from
bude
slaying
lhát, cheatovat a
Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Tak schválně.
The interior of the cabin is almost
máme
entirely
skipovat, to jste
bare.
uslyšeli, jo?
The air
Dobře.
is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are
Tohle to
painted in
necháme
a fine
jenom jako
layer
ještě
of
jedno.
dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched the blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Můžeme jí zabít třeba tím, že ji uškrtíme. Zkusíme to. Já se teda budu brát teďko nůž schválně, jo. Dobře.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below.
Já jsem se jenom zeptal na herní mechaniku.
This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
On teďko mluví jinak než předtím. Jenom tě jdu zkontrolovat. Ne, já si nebudu mluvit, budeme dolů, schválně, jo.
You're still listening to reason.
Dobře.
It would be better if you had a weapon, but you may still be able to do what needs to be done. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
Výborně.
There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused.
Okay.
There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Počkej, nejdřív si promluvíme.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Jak se jmenuješ?
Oh.
Dobře.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Dobře.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
Okay. Takže princezna je tvoje jméno?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
Je takhle. Ona kámo nebude člověk.
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten.
Aha.
I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird.
To je no.
She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade and slay her before it's too late.
Jako to dá, takže musí ji teďko zabít, protože nemá jméno, jo. OK, to je dost divný. A nechám tě tady ještě chvíli zamčenou, dokud se lépe nepoznáme a pak se rozhodnu.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
Okay.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help.
Výborně. Výborně. OK, takže to je změna hlasu.
But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
Skvělý.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Já mám extrémně hodně nápadů, jak to udělat teď teda. Ne. Já ji zamknu. Já ji zamknu tady.
I know you think this is some kind of fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here.
Dobře.
It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch. No one has to die.
No one has to die.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way back to the stairs.
Fine. Turn your back on me, but it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Ta berka je skvělá.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing.
No to je otázka, že?
Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she? You can still grab the blade and get back down here.
Ne. Budeme držet ten stejný plán, prostě zamknem.
It'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do it your.
Okay.
You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work.
Ten blade je kde?
You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out?
Ty krávo.
It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. But it's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker.
To je hodně zvláštní.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Ignorují, ať jdi spát. OK, dobrý, OK. Nasraný ženský lepší ignorovat. Souhlasím.
Just ignore her. Maybe the banging and wailing will stop if you just don't pay attention to it. You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
On se fakt dostala ven.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Fuck. Prosím.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Počkat, moment. My jsme ji v tom prvním endingu zabili, jakože jsme ji opravdu zabili. Takže ona není nesmrtelná, je to něco smrtelného. 。 A tohle to je úplně separátní loop. Kdy teda já jsem mrtvej a tohle se odehrává v mojí hlavě. To se mi odehrává v mojí hlavě, jsem mrtvej, zatraceně, ale...
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
OK. Cítím, že tohle je hrozný déjà vu.
A terrible sense of déjà vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
Je to tak poprvé, ano.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Určitě.
Shh. What if he hears us? That's a very good question, little voice. What if he does hear you? Shit. I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. Still, I'd rather not get off on the wrong foot. We've a world to save after all.
Tohle je víc než déjà vu. Jsem si jistý, že se tohle už celý všechno stalo.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree.
Pojďme se domluvit, že říkám pravdu a tohle už se vážně stalo. Proč bych tě poslouchal? Proč bych měl jít cokoliv udělat?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Jak back here?
We couldn't trust either of you, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't. All we did was lock her away. And how'd that work out for you? No comment. Well then, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right.
Yes, yeah.
And your solution is to send us back in there. Do you want us to slay the princess, or do you want the princess to slay us? Obviously, I want you to slay her. One of you poses a threat to the world, and the other doesn't. Anyways, I believe your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Speak for yourself. From my perspective, there were plenty of consequences. I'm never going to forget the way she just made us stop working. And that's only scratching the surface. If what you said is true, it begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or have you found yourself in another world altogether? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she brought an end to everything and everyone, how are we supposed to stop her? What do you want from us? I want you to succeed. You'll find a way. You're the only one who can.
Pojďme si promluvit o této princezně.
Just be quick about it.
Jenom to, že jsem byl okolo ní, tak mi kompletně zničilo tělo. Co s tím mám udělat? Abych tě doplnil z minula, je to akorát princezna. Určitě není, určitě je něco více. Kdo ji tam zamknul? Dobře, tak schválně. Ten shadow mě zajímá.
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job and save the world.
Kdo ji tam zamknul? Co to je za místo?
People locked her in that basement.
Lidi.
And I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Proč by ji tam lidi zamkli? Proč by ji zamkli jinam? Když ti lidi zamkli, tak proč ji nezabili? Proč to mám udělat já?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special.
Já jsem speciál.
You're the only person capable of doing this.
Okay, dobře.
Call it a prophecy, if that helps.
To by řekla i moje máma,
it's just the way things are. You can't just goad us into doing something by calling us special. It's manipulative. Why are you trying to manipulate us? I don't know, I kinda like being special. Okay, fine. Maybe you can goad him into doing something, but he's not even the one who makes the decisions here. I'm not goading you into doing anything. You already know the princess is dangerous. All I'm trying to say is that you have to be the one to deal with her. I know it doesn't seem fair, but that's just the way it is. And for what it's worth, I know you have it in you to finish the job. We don't. You saw what happened to us last time. We need to leave.
Vlastně vůbec teď nezjistili, člověče. Co teď třeba s Cagey? Co mi neříkáš?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail will just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
Uzavřený.
If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word. He isn't telling us everything he knows because he doesn't trust us, which means that we can't trust him. Stop talking yourself in neurotic circles and just get to the cabin already. Do you see the way he keeps pushing us? We have to get out of here.
My vážně máme na výběr, jo? Já se teda ještě jednou zeptám, jestli jako... My teda víme, že to není člověk. Takže co to je?
She is
Kdo to je?
just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin and you'll be fine. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Okay.
A warning before you go any further.
Ano.
She will lie, she will cheat,
Ano.
and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
Ano.
Don't believe a word she says. I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away. It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
Mám vůbec věřit někomu v téhle hře?
The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Takže tohle se opravdu odehrává v nějaký nightmare, protože je to jinak. To není stejný, že jo?
Hold on. What happened to the door?
No.
There was a door here last time. It's just an empty frame.
Já vidím ty oči v oknech, máte pravdu, no. Teď už je vidím.
She's already got now, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it.
Neřekl jsi nic o mirrorově zrcadlu na zdi.
You're right. I was so stuck on the eyes watching us that I didn't even notice it there. What are you two talking about? There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the floor, and the open doorway leading to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. We have to look at it. Unless that's what he wants us to do. And pretending it isn't there is a trick to get us to do exactly what he wants.
Chci se podívat na sebe, jak moc handsome jsem.
We shouldn't waste time preening, but if he is lying about the mirror, it might be important. I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes, there is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do? Maybe he's trying to keep us from looking because there's something horribly wrong with us. No, there isn't something horribly wrong with you. You look exactly how you're supposed to look. Now stop second-guessing my every word. You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
It's a wall?
This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Já nejsem člověk.
Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad.
What the fuck, kámo? Počkat. Tak to a tam mění úplně všechno najednou. Tak kdo z nás je ten démon tím pádem? OK.
You reach down and pick the blade up off the floor. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Steel can't lie to us.
Je to tak, jediný
Is it gonna be enough though? Couldn't you have given us something else? Something, I don't know, better than a knife? Could we have a bomb?
Taková ruská cesta. OK.
The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death.
A to je vlastně člověče, ale pravda to, že tohle je v Nightmare, takže to je fakt otázka, tyjo. Tak sválně ještě zkusím to jednou, jo. Ta kabina vypadá jinak, si pamatuju.
Very different. He changed it, didn't he? It's like he's trying to make us doubt our reality.
Ale je
Calm down.
Skoro.
Maybe the three of you just think everything is different because you haven't been here before. Enough of this past life nonsense. You haven't died, you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps suspended in darkness. More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Ty krávo. Ty vole, tak kde se to odehrává? Ve snu?
Okay, we need a game plan.
Ano.
Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us.
Jak moc těžký je hodit nůž?
It can't be that hard. But then we'd lose our weapon. We'd have to make it count. Otherwise she'd be furious and we'd be defenseless. If a knife is even enough to do anything against something like her in the first place, it'll be enough.
Promluvím si s ní. Ano. Udělám tu jedinou věc, kterou nikdy nikdo, žádný muž s ženou neudělal. Promluvím si s ní.
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good. Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right.
My víme, že tu někde je, slyšeli jsme ji.
She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. We're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Tak čete, levá nebo pravá? Čet, levá nebo pravá? Zpátky. Prava.
You turn to the right. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow. This is it, isn't it?
And you brought a little knife with you. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think. Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death. Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more? You have seconds left. Yes, I'm sure. Heart, lungs, liver,
No.
nerves.
Čete. Idem.
Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why?
Dobrá
The
otázka.
why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late.
Vykonaj to, ne?
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver,
To je strašný.
heart, lungs, liver,
Můžu jít teď zabít?
heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your will concentrates into a single fine point, and you strike out against the princess, ignoring the constant reminders of your breaking body. She doesn't even move as the blade sinks into her heart. We did it. We actually did it.
You actually went for it! Oh, you're going to regret this! I could be so much more terrible for you than I am now!
Can she? We've already seen how she can change.
What the fuck?
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
You're not getting those stairs back. I'll see you when you finally decide to die.
She falls to the ground, unmoving. Nerves. Heart. Oh. I can stop now, can't I? I can.
What the fuck?
Fine. And now that she's gone, you can let us out of here. Right? But she was the one who controlled this place, wasn't she?
Aha.
And now she's dead. I don't like to think what that means for us. It means that you're stuck here. Forever. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, I hate this. Time passes. Forever's gonna end eventually, right?
Aha.
No, it won't. That's the whole point of forever. It doesn't end. I feel sick. It doesn't have to be forever, though. Does it?
Počkat, já už nemluvím, já přemýšlím, jo. Takže my jsme jich zabili ve snu, ale ona kontrolovala ten sen. Teď by se dostala jako stuck, jestli to chápu
What do
správně.
you mean? We still have a way out, clutched in our hands. You suggesting we kill ourselves?
Aha.
Won't we be dead? I guess that hasn't stopped us before. That's a terrible idea. You've already saved the entire world from ruin. Why would you want to die? Because right now, you don't want us to do that. You're right. I don't. But if we've already saved the world, then why does it matter if we die? Why do you care?
Je takhle, že ten narrátor nás vždycky dotlačí k něčemu.
I just do. I value life.
Aha.
Every life. Even yours. Why? What do you mean, why? I think it's perfectly reasonable to value life.
Souhlasím.
Exactly. I don't have to answer that.
What the fuck? Vezmi si nůž z jejího těla.
You remove the blade from the princess's body.
Aha.
What exactly are you planning on doing with it?
No, napadlo mě, co s tím tělem udělat, ale dělat nebudu nic radši, protože jsme na Twitchi. Nejsem náhodou kreatora, co má biologii. Nezabije mě třeba jako dehydratace?
That's a grim thought, isn't it?
Aha.
But I suppose you're right. You are a creature of biology. Something will happen to you before forever comes along. We don't have to starve to death. You have our way out. Use it.
Takže já se vážně jakoby teďko můžu zabít. No tady není žádná jiná cesta, koukám. Dobře. On nám říkal, že to udělat nechce. Když dám wait.
More time passes.
Aha.
You're still here.
Dobře. Okay, let's go.
I don't like this, but I suppose there's not much I can do to stop you, is there? You raise the blade to your neck and slit your carotid artery. Here we go.
What the fuck?
You're on a path in the wood. Shit. This really doesn't end, does it?
What the fuck?
It doesn't matter if we kill her, it doesn't matter if she kills us, it just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Počkat, ty vole. Tak tohle už ale není alternativní realita, to je prostě... Tohle už hlavně není ani loop, že jo? My jsme úplně někde jinde, že jo?
Yes, so it does. No, there has to be a way out of here. There just has to be. What if we do what she asked us to last time? What if we just let her leave? Okay, so you've already been here. More than once, even. Great. So you probably already know all about her and all about the threat she poses to the world. Then let me remind you how catastrophic it would be if you helped her leave in any way. If she gets out, the world ends and everyone ends with it. Yourself included.
Ale to je nesmysl, protože už svět skončil. My jsme jí poprvé, v tomhle ranu jsme ji poprvé pustili, on nás zabila. Pak jsme se objevili v jejím snu. Takže to, co se teďko děje, tak neexistuje.
Oh, threatening us with death, are we?
Aha.
And why should we be afraid of dying? We've already done it twice. All death has done is shunt us back to these woods, where we're forced to listen to your empty warnings again and again. This place feels a bit different though, doesn't it? I don't even know what I'd call it, but it's definitely not the same path in the woods
Vypadá tak stromičete, že je tohle.
That's all the more reason to take this seriously. If the path isn't the same, it means that her influence is spreading. The world has already started to end. Her influence? I really shouldn't have said that.
Yes,
it'll make your task more difficult. But now it's out, you could always take that information as a sign of goodwill between us and do your job, alright?
OK, dobře. Jsi ten stejný narátor, který jsme potkali v těch ostatních loopech. Jak to, že víš, že jsme tady už předtím byli? Je to ještě něco, co jsme zkusili. Otoč se a odejdi.
I'm begging you, don't do this. You're going to damn everything to oblivion. You have to do something. You can't just walk away. Yet here we are, walking away despite your protestations.
No, vypadá to, že občas se jiný způsob, jak vyhrát hru, je i nehrát, ano.
There's got to be a crack in this world somewhere. If he's looking in at us, there has to be a way out. Ugh, fine.
Jasně.
You walk down the path away from the cabin. Hope for all our sakes that you change your mind before it's too late.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? Everything is getting fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
What's going on? Where are we? I don't know. But it feels like home. It's finally happened, hasn't it? We finally cracked.
Svět okolo tebe tak zmizel. Nejsi sám. Frustrace. Tato schránka je plná tebe, potřebuji něco prázdného, kam můžu vlízt. Tohle je sen, zbuď se. Není to sen.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Dale, tyjo. To je masakr, ty vole. Takže to vypadá, že tato cesta nikdy životě nefunguje. Protože my se vrátíme zpátky do začátek toho loopu akorát. A my potřebujeme tak koukám ten loop projít.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Můžeš skipnout dialog tabem. Jo. OK. Dobře. Dobře. Tohle to je chapter 1. Můžu teďko rozbít ten loop tím, že odejdu?
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave?
Aha.
Do you even know where you're going?
Ne. Odejdu. Prostě odcházím.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Počkat, takže ta cesta Otoč se znova a odejdi znova.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies.
Že umřou.
Forever.
Aha. Pokračujeme.
Your silence is deafening. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Ne, prostě kámo, to je úplně stejně jak na Twitchi, ať udělám cokoliv a jdu kteroukoliv cestou, tak vždycky skončím u Life is Strange True Colors, jo. To prdele, jo. Co když půjdu jinou cestou znova a půjdu dál, dokud se odsud dostanu?
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
Vidíme šest.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin. The cabin. an infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right?
Aha.
But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Počkat, on vážně zaniknul
You're
svět,
on a
jo?
path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Já už to chápu, takže každý ten chapter tak je vlastně jeden cyklus toho světa, který musí jako umřít, abychom se posunuli někam dál.
You're here to slay her.
Aha.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
What the fuck? What the fuck? To je zeď? Počkat, tohle je zeď? Jo, máte pravdu, člověk, já jsem vůbec neviděl. Aha, ta zeď tady předtím nebyla.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
Já jsem rád, že nejsem sám, taky to vypadá jak ta z Hunger Games, že jo?
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off.
The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky.
The world hasn't ended yet,
Aha.
and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Dobře, chápu, tu jdem do kamene.
A warning before you go any further.
Já, kámo, ta se tě...
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Mám skipovat ty dialogy, co jsme uslyšeli?
If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar.
Možná, no.
Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it.
Let's keep an open mind.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same
What
space.
the fuck?
But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense.
Ty tak jako existuje to, neexistuje,
The
nebo...
only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Vypadá to jak ten stůl z IKEA, který jsem si koupil.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
To je zajímavý argument. My jsme se naposled posunuli do 3. chapteru tím, že jsme ji nezabili. Ne, kecám. Zabili. Vlastně ano.
No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that. And when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world.
Vypadá, že to má celkem
If you're
jednoduchý.
going to slay her, You cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, you've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
Lose ourselves?
Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard.
Akceptuji, že to je reálný. Není.
Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
Zrcadlo tady taky předtím nebylo.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay, fine, you took the knife. You really shouldn't hold it like that. Then how are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice.
Dobře. Tohle mi říkal ten kontrarian. Hold the blade the other way.
You switch your grip on the blade. Congratulations.
Okay.
Yes! Isn't this so much better? Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better. It really doesn't matter. Just get on with it and deal with the princess already.
Vyhodíme ho ven z okna?
Seriously. You throw the blade at the window, glass showering the cabin as your weapon flies out into the night. I suppose you'll just have to deal with the princess without it. We'll be fine, don't worry about it. What's the worst that could happen? The world ends. Been there, done that. I'm not so sure. This place is already messing with my head. It would be much better if we had a weapon. What's done is done. Good luck, hero.
Oh, shit.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials.
Okay.
Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down.
Harry Potter schody, no to právě že ne, oni nedávají smysl ze schody, že jo? To nikam nejde pořádně.
The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing.
Just jump up.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success?
Tohle je asi pravda.
There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Tak čete. Levá, pravá anebo střed. Poslouchám vás. To jsou tyhle schody a tyhle schody. Střed jako Macron. Dobře. OK, takže střed.
You step onto the center staircase. Paths wind out around you in all directions, each step branching into its own staircases, which branch into their own staircases, and so on. You aren't quite sure if yours is taking you up or down, but at the very least, it's taking you somewhere. Concentrate on where you are. Careful not to stray onto any of the many splitting branches that tempt you on all sides. You wouldn't want to have to backtrack to yours once you'd made a decision that took you someplace else. And so you take one careful, focused step after another. One foot down, another foot down, another after that. You lose yourself in following the correct pattern, in following what looks to be the true path, the one that cuts straight down, or up, or maybe sideways. But no matter the direction it goes, it certainly is the most true path. You know that much.
Jak to můžeme vědět, že to je true path?
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as... What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here.
Co se kurva teď stalo, tyjo? No takhle, dokázal bych já tohleto jako vymyslet, co se tako stalo? Nedokázal, že jo? Jako tohoto může být literálně prostě úplně jako jiná cesta.
And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
Vypadá to, že jsi hrůzou, postrachem pro svět a měl bych tě zabít.
I don't have any weapons, and I'm chained to a wall. Do I look like someone that could end the world? Do I look like a monster?
No, vypadáš trochu jak moje bývalá, takže...
Everything you've heard about me is true, and I'm going to lay waste to everything, starting with you.
Nesnáším ten zvuk toho rozbitého skla, kámo.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she
byla karma, ano, to byla moje bývalá.
There was once just one of her. There is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. Only you listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Jakože víc žen, víc problémů. Počkat, tyhle ty 3 věci jsou jedna cesta, jo. Teďko je vás tady víc.
There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago. It must be fear creeping into your heart.
You know you can't stop me.
And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin?
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are.
Nemám nůž.
How would we even do that? Where would we start? We'd always start by retrieving the blade. The one he made us throw out the window. I wasn't the one who threw it. Oh, come on, you told us to. Don't try to pass the blame now that it's come back to bite us. Well, if I'd known we'd be dealing with this, maybe I wouldn't have been so hasty with my suggestions. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so
Právě,
please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
Když je pustím, co uděláš?
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. I just want to live my life. I'm not going to dance for you. Besides, you already know what I'm going to do.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction. It's infuriating, isn't it? Whose buttons are there for us to press? Whose skin is there for us to get under? Not exactly how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we?
Nemůžem, no.
What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers?
No, jako vypadá to, že se frakturuje realita. Z toho, co já teďko vidím, takže možná má smysl opravdu zkusit ji rozbít.
Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
Jak se jmenuješ?
Princess. You can call me Princess, if you like. You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really. No, I don't need a name.
My name is whatever hushed whispers follow in the wake of my devastation.
None of them have names. How astute. I told you she was untrustworthy.
Takže to jsou vážně 4 různý ženský tohle. Dostat se sem bylo zvláštní, jako kdybych se rozbil a složil, co se mi stalo.
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you? We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
Dobrá otázka, taky nemám tušení, co to dělám.
Oh, I thought they would send something better to deal with me. If the stairs managed to chew you up,
I will devour you.
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different.
What the fuck?
You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her, leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone.
What the fuck?
We were never going to salvage this, were we?
what happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit.
My jsme z jedné ženy udělali 5 kusů dohromady, to je Graphic Science v Elden Ringu.
We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
Can you fix us? Ne.
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Asi no.
Please.
Chceme ji spravit nebo ne? Neříkej nic. Nevíš, že jsi měl šanci slyšet to ticho? Je pryč?
She's gone. Where does she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror?
What the fuck?
Why is it here? Why now?
Narátor zmizel.
He is. Does that mean the world ended? Again, what the hell are we supposed to do? I'm begging you, don't do this.
Jsi u zrcadla.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
Hlasy jsou menší, daleké. Jsi to ty. Já vůbec nevím, na co se koukám aktuálně. Jsi sám v místě, které je prázdné, je tady ticho. Jsi v kabině. Jo, poznáváš tu entitu, která je v tom těle? Je to...
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Počkat. Je to konec světa?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Dobrá otázka, ano. Řekni tak. Znáš narátora jakože vypravěče?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Já jsem se dostal jakože do mezi světa, jo. Jsi ty ta princezna?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
OK. Ale vždycky jsi byla princeznou, nebo jsi akorát z ní udělala svoji část?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
What the fuck? Co víš o světech, které jsou za tímto místem?
I know only that they are.
Aha. Co je dar toho těla?
Yes. Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction. A winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart.
So early in your journey? Kolik to má Kristovi rány chapterů?
Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
Pustí ven.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me.
Jo, takže doslova ta jediná věc, proč to chat chtěla vidět, ta princezna, tak je aktuálně tudle, prostě, rozumím.
I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Takže F. Co se bude dít teď?
Nothing, as we are. but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that there is no exit. But this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Počkat. Bring me more perspectives. Neboj se, že najdu cestu, jak tě zabít?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
On není živá. Dokonce ani. Dobře, můžeš mě nechat zapomenout.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
To prdele.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Dobrý, tohle začíná být trochu absurdní, takže tato entita řídí celou tuhle hru. Já teda vlastně nejsem schopný zjistit, co se teď
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Zemi, všechno je to úplně stejný, člověče. Zapomeň na to, nebudu to dělat.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
Dejte možná seš na stopy, já mám taky člověče ten pocit právě.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Tak je bude takové vypadat teďko schválně.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Mě zbýt zaujala věta, přiveď mi víc perspektiv, že to musíš dohrát asi na víc endingu, aby se to posunulo dál. Vypadá to tak, člověče, no.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Počkat, to taška neřekla. Ne, rozhodně tě tady nechci. Nechci tě zabít. Proč by si to myslela?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it.
Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Dobře. Dobře.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
OK, dobře, tak tohle mě rozsekalo. Jako po 2 hodinách hry, tak tohle teda opravdu by rozsekalo. Vztah? Chceš mi tím něco říct?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Dobře, ano, je to tak. By definition. Jak bych je dokázal odsud dostat?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't...
Takže klíč tu je dokonce ještě.
Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade.
Počkat.
She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right?
Jakože bych třeba usetnul ruku.
She is. I'm sure of it.
Jak se tady dlouho byla? Dole.
Too long.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Jsem tady kvůli tomu, že by si měla ukončit svět.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
I think.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so... dangerous?
Deflect. Co uděláš, když je pustím?
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
Má úplně Karen hlas zabijí. To je průměrný Twitch chatter, no.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Jasně. Dobře, mluvili jsme dost dlouho.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Co s ní uděláme, chat? Ty vole. Tohle je strašně složitý. V téhle situaci, kdy jsme teda viděli všechno, už jsme ji jednou pustili. My jsme ji jednou pustili a 3krát zabili. Dobře. Tak ji zachráníme, jo.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
Jasně.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
A pokud tady klíč není, máme nějakou jinou cestu?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
Můžu ztratit ruku.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Vrať se dolů.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Čuráci.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Ale kdyby nás tady zavřel. Save the princess, slay the princess. Dobře. 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 Let's go.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Narátor by vzal ten nůž? WTF? Varují.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
What the fuck?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Jak to, že to kurva nekončí tím, že prostě nás zabije? Co to je za nonsense tohle? To je jako kdyby vždycky po té smrti byla něco jako nightmare a pak to pokračovalo.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Dobře.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. She will cheat. She will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Představ si, že to je takový trochu deadloop. No, jo, souhlasím.
Yes, don't believe a word she says.
Jako začíná
just go in, take
znova.
the knife and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
Wink.
Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink.
The skeptic.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Okay. Wink.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
Takže to je doslova vězení tím pádem.
The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Můžeš si představit, jak se scháněli programátoři na tuhletu hru. A grafici? Grafik. Namaluj prosím tě tady tyhle ty schody. OK, a teď to udělej 800krát různě. Chápete mě?
Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Takže teďko to je... Tohle je sen.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
Počkat.
She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Dobře, okay.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Okay.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon.
Ano, lásko?
Might as well put her at ease.
No dlouho. Nevím. Sedni se tam, kde ti řekla, ať si sedneš. Dobře.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
Ona se nás tam pamatuje? Co ti myslíš intentions?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Jo, takhle, takže já bych ji musel useknout obě dvě ruce i hlavu.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck? Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her. Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me.
but I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
Já už jsem tady byl předtím, zpamatuju si to jenom já.
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
So you've already been here. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use.
Ježišmarja. Save jsem chtěl. Jo. Takže teďko de facto nám hra řekla, že jsme ve hře, to chápu.
It's complicated things. How exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were.
Podle narratora to je druhá šance.
Say anything else. I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably. I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it?
Takže i narátor jako
you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky. So don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
What the fuck?
I won't. Fine. But you won't get another word from me on the matter. Yeah, sure. We'll see about that. Just give it a rest. This isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Mám se na to vážně zeptat? Pro koho je ten další řetěz vedle tebe?
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
Můžeš si to zkusit?
Maybe it'll fit.
Možná ti bude.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Prozkoumej okovy.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth?
Skeptik má pravdu, no.
He isn't. I am. Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad.
It's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
Ach jo.
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
F.
Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Ty krávo.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Takže je možný, že opravdu občas narátor i říká pravdu, to je strašně zvláštní.
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve. That's horrible. It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch? No. There's something special about this loose chain.
Yes.
It's clearly important.
Souhlasím. Věděla jsi, že se tohoto stane?
No.
Nevěděla to. Co bychom teď měli dělat?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Možná přijde moje další verze. Nechci na smoltálky, že ne?
Nope.
That's rude.
Takže jsme tady oba dva staknutí.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it. How exactly does that work? It just does.
It just does.
But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again.
On nám to nechce vysvětlovat, protože evidentně neví, anebo nechce.
And let me guess, the cabin remains the same. If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work. I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there.
Aha.
But then they get larger and larger.
Ale po jak dlouhém čase by tohle mohlo být? Viděla jsi, že se mění ten basement, ten sklep?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude. You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
Lichen to je...
Doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode. She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't. Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And then... And? I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
Počkat, ona jí pohltila ta entita. Neměl jsi šanci odpovědět a nikdy nebudeš mít, je čas odejít.
She's gone. Where does she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror?
Jsem to pořád já, nebo ne?
This doesn't feel right.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
Ježiš, mi se vyplo světlo, tyjo. Ne, jsem to... Já jsem se zvětšil? What the f... Jak? Tak, dobrý, takže my kdykoliv projdeme jako část, která nebyla součástí narrativu, tak se vždycky vrátíme k ní? Nebo k němu, nebo k onomu.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Až budeš připravený, tak tě opět vrátím na zpátek, jo. Jsi to pořád ty? Jak moc se změnilo?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
I am the same. Víš, že až tohoto všechno skončí, tak je nakonec zabiju, že jo?
There is still much to be seen.
Aha.
Neither of us know the depths of our being. Perhaps at the end of this, I will be the one to kill you. Or perhaps we will leave this place together and find new horizons to discover.
Je to tak, přesně tak. Vezmeme rany a uděláme z toho Age of the Stars. Kolik ještě veslů ti musím přivést?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective.
Já začínám mít obavu, že to dneska nedohrajem.
You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
Aha. Já na ní můžu zaútočit, anebo se zabít teďko. To jsou jediné věci, které jsou jinak. Kdybych na ní teďko zaútočil, co by se stalo? No nic by se nestalo, podle mě, že jo?
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
You're on a path in the woods.
Ano, vím, kde jsem.
And at the end of that path
Ano, vím,
is
co
a
tam je.
cabin.
Ano, vím,
And in
co
the
má...
basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Blá, blá, blá. Děkuji. Jdeme do toho, jo? Tak.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Ale máš to, že já jsem trefadl pohodně tohle psycha. Já to tehdy mám hrozně rád.
The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is...
Tohle je stejný.
You take the blade from the...
Tohle je pořád stejný.
The door to her voice...
Who's there?
She sounds...
Don't let it...
Tak. Takže pojďme teď to udělat jinak, jo? Jsem tady, abych tě zabil, myslím.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
No takhle, my teďka máme několik variant. Můžeme zkusit úplně rozbít tu hru, anebo ta druhá varianta taky prostě doslova vždycky přivízt nějakého vězně ty entitě.
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Ne, nebyl to vtip.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
Možná trošku, no.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Ne, nezahodím ten nůž.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Aha. Co to je squint? To je...
You stare at the princess.
Jo, ještě se na ní koukáme.
Squinting. She squints back.
To je zírání.
The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
Ano. Zírej na princeznu ještě tvrději.
You squint even harder. So does she. At least nobody's dying right now. You're going to have to make a choice. You can't keep squinting forever.
Ale můžu.
Eventually, someone is going to have to blink.
Tohle je hloupost. Tohle je hloupost, to nemůže fungovat.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Já ji nechci zabít, ale to je k ničemu. Když ji zabiju, tak já tím neprogresuju ten příběh ty entity jako takový, že jo? Takže prostě já ji potřebuju nechat žít. Aspoň jak to půjde.
Are you serious?
No.
As internal bleeding sets in, the blade falls from your trembling hands, clattering to the ground uselessly. You lacked the will to finish the job, your bruised and broken body falling to its knees before her. The princess, exhausted, chest heaving with heavy breaths, tosses the blade away from you. This is the end, isn't it?
Is this really the best you could do?
Huh.
Look at you.
Úplně ne, no.
Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She plants her foot on your chest and pushes you onto your back, the air leaving your lungs in a heavy puff. And then she brings her knee to your throat. She leans into it with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess, shattering your windpipe and leaving you starved for breath.
It's too bad. I was looking forward to some company.
Everything goes dark,
and you die.
Chapter 2.